Hi, thanks for being in a new video. This time I got my hands on the OPPO Reno 10 5G and I'm going to tell you what I like the most and the least in case you're considering buying it. So as always, let me tell you, don't buy the OPPO Reno 10 5G without watching this video. Remember that this will be a brief summary, but the full review is also available where you can learn every detail about this device. If there is something that I don't mention in this video, it means that it is on what one could expect from this device. Neither good nor bad. Let's consider its launch price in Mexico, which is 9,999 pesos. On the screen you see the reference price in dollars, but remember that the prices here are not the same as over there. Let's start with what I like the most. It is very thin and very light, with the size of the OPPO brand. They take great care of the aesthetics. It is a cell phone that looks very good. It has an infrared port for universal control. If you are one of those people who constantly lose control of the TV, I think it could help you a lot. It comes with an application where you select the brand of your TV, follow some steps to confirm that it is the code it is sending, and just like that you can control your TV or an air conditioner or a camera or some other devices. The back cover is not marked with fingerprints. Although if you are going to use a case, the design is going to look a lot worse and it's probably not going to look that nice. So just consider it. It has a telephoto camera with 2x optical zoom and 32 megapixels. It's very well used. It really is a device that's not just going to give you a good zoom. Because in this price range, very few devices can give you this quality of zoom. But this lens is also very well used for portrait photography, so it is very good. I liked its portrait photography. The backlit video recording I also loved. It is able to balance highlights and shadows very well, and that is something that in this range very few devices can do. It is definitely what surprised me the most, because usually this performance of good balance of lights and shadows is found in premium devices. But in this case, despite being a device that could be categorized as an upper mid-range or mid-premium, the truth is that it has excellent performance recording video in these conditions. It also features dual recording mode. With this you can record both on the rear camera and with the front camera to show both sides of the image. This is another aspect that I find very useful, especially for bloggers or if you want to share something on your social networks but also want to share your reaction. I think you can take good advantage of this option. In software, it brings a lot of security options such as secure folder, application locking, child mode, and more. These are little details that in daily life experience are very useful. The 67-watt charge is lightning fast, charging from 0 to 100 in approximately 45 minutes. Although you know what I've always recommended, don't let it discharge to 0% so the battery doesn't degrade as quickly. Although anyway, OPPO claims that their batteries have very good durability so they don't degrade as fast over time. OPPO promises more than 1600 charge cycles before the battery deteriorates. This is in spite of fast charging. So if you think that because you have fast charging the battery is going to deteriorate very quickly, well, I think OPPO seems to have done a good job on this. Although I honestly haven't been able to test it because it's not a device I'm using that long. But if you did buy it, tell us specifically about your battery experience. Do you feel it still lasts you the same as day one? Also through software it comes with a data lock option. I really like that option because you can select whether apps can connect to the internet with your mobile data and Wi-Fi or only with Wi-Fi. And this way you avoid unexpected surprises in your mobile data consumption. The base version has 256 gigabytes of storage. I think this is too good a capacity that until a few years ago was exclusive to special high-end versions. But seeing it on a mid-range device really pleases a lot because you're going to be able to store a lot of videos, a lot of photos, and it's really not going to fill up quickly. But wait, let's get to what I didn't like. The camera does not have optical stabilization. And stabilization is not only an issue focused on video, but also on night photography. So even though it comes out well, I think it would go to a new level if they put optical stabilization. And at this price, there are other devices that integrate this feature and even at lower prices. When recording video in 4K, it lacks even more stabilization. So although it does allow us to record video in high resolution, it is still recommended to record video in full HD to have the highest possible quality in other aspects. The front camera does not record in 4K. I think if you wanted this device to create content for different platforms, it can give you a bit shaky experience. Because if you wanted to record in 4K with the rear camera and then you want to record other shots with the front camera, well, you're going to run into this difficulty that the videos are in different resolutions. And definitely the ideal would be that in both cameras we could have the 4K quality. But even when recording in Full HD, the front camera does not stabilize. This may be corrected with an update that I hope they send, but honestly it is not confirmed. So I think if you were going to vlog with this device, it's a bad idea because besides it's not 4K, it doesn't stabilize. Currently here in Mexico, it has very little developed ecosystem. This may vary depending on other regions, but at least here in Mexico only distributes its OPPO band, but does not distribute its OPPO Pad or other alternatives, so it still feels a little weak brand in this aspect. Fortunately, by having Android, you could buy a headset with Google Fast Pair to link easily and have a more complete experience, but I insist that the best experience would be for the same brand to launch many more devices. Fortunately, also in headphones, they have in their catalog some Enco models, but it still lacks more travel. In my test, the 5000 mAh battery performed slightly below what I expected. It is not really something very serious, but if we get picky, I think we could ask for a better optimization of the operating system to better manage things that are in the background and do not consume so much energy. It also does not have a charge lock. This again is getting a little picky, but in the price range, there are other options that do have this option to cap the charge at 80 or 85%. Again, in order to not degrade the battery so quickly. Although I already told you that OPPO promises that its battery technology anyway does not degrade so fast, but if you are one of those users who need to have the device connected to the current at all times, well, this device has no option to avoid that battery overcharge. Despite having 8 GB of RAM, you're actually going to notice some app restarts if you open a lot of content. Apparently, OPPO's system will require up to 12 GB of RAM to maintain a much looser performance with several open applications. I think this could be optimized through an update. It's probably going to get ColorOS 14 and hopefully that will improve it. But at the moment I feel that it is not a device that allows you to keep many applications open and none of that is restarting. And the Dimensity 7050 Truth processor is good for day-to-day use, but in gaming it can fall short. So, if you're a user looking for the best gaming experience, you're definitely going to find some much more attractive or much more powerful options at this price point. On the other hand, if you are not too interested in games and only play very casual content, you will surely have a good experience. But if you already bought it, let me know your experience in the comments. Tell us absolutely everything you liked and disliked about this device so that other people who are thinking about buying it can also read your experience and make the best decision. For the moment, we have reached the end of this video. If you liked it, you know you can tell us and see you next time.